trophy this season. There are a lot of factors that they need to first come and fight against. One of them is how are they going to handle the pressure that is currently coming up for them. Number one is pressure. One, they are going to face one of the most difficult sides to beat Ottoman or Premier League, either Manchester City or Newcastle. Remember in the EFL semi-finals of last season, it is Newcastle that disbanded them from the EFL, not facing them, going for the final one. And then two, they have also found it very difficult to beat Manchester City, which means all the two stakes for them now are at 50-50. That is to say, if Manchester City comes, they are going to still face a very difficult side. They have failed to beat a team of Manchester City double or Premier League, and then also in other competitions. And then Newcastle also the same sort of, the wounds that they had last season. Maybe the only luck is that Alexander Isak is not making part of this season for Newcastle. That might be the only scapegoat Arsenal needs to strengthen. And then also there are some credits. Team like Arsenal has also put Ottoman or Team Kitchen in it. They are very, very good defensively, and that is some of the credits that might hand them the EFL. Champions League, we don't need first to continue talking about it because we have not yet seen the playoffs. That is the knockout playoffs qualifiers to the round of 32. But we have not seen it yet because Arsenal might be given another big side that you can be beaten one away. By the time somebody comes home, you are home, somebody will just maintain the possession of the ball, play those tactics until the game is finally thrown out, knocking at the Jan and away. Maybe the Premier League, still also in the Premier League, they need to run the pressure very, very well because by the time they fail to manage the pressure based on the fixtures that they are currently left with, Ottoman or Premier League. Against Sunderland, we saw how they failed to manage the pressure until they dropped points. Ottoman Boliangi. Brentford is also one of the difficult sides. Akauna parana di adi team of Aston Villa Quab away from home. The Arsenal is going to face them Ottoman or Wreckage. It's going to be difficult for them to cope up with that. FA Cup, also still the same story. Is Jaro na Tipe, you're out of the competition. So such pressures needs to be counted for Arsenal even to walk away with more than Chelsea really did a lot of prep for that game. They contained a team local Arsenal, and also by the both goalkeepers played a very big role because I just shot Labu Ejakatimon Sanchez Openo, I saving and then also Kepa's Balang also had an opportunity that Fernandez had also taken an automobile and managed to save it. But you know that in the first leg, the Arsenal got a couple of goals. They were really very dangerous, more especially on set pieces. And I think Eja Katimo Liam Rosini, the coach of Chelsea, if there's one thing that he did, Nyesa Yunebe, Abekesa prepping and disorganizing a team local Arsenal Kachane Panda. But I think also they lost it out a little bit in the second half towards the end of the game, and then they went and developed that belief. The truth is they were pushing a team local Arsenal, and they decided to go all out to go and look for a goal at the Now Arsenal knew that Ikesalu utaskesa kwa dakuni kerani abuna na moyo golo ni osode Arsenal kwa nai anyunebe akese choni sara just side defending ataveroni konyonye tuskesa kwituma arasitumia rengesa just akaniangina then Lionel Trossard, who was able to get the ball, release it to Declan Rice, and by the time Declan Rice released the ball to Kai Havertz, Adam Nebe, Trevor Chalobah, Nesibona Jane Panenda, and Mamma Bereja Katimo Nasom, but I also believe that if I was Trevor Chalobah, first of all, Tinaka Mutimo put around a hand. Then let it be a red card. Let it be a red card. And then the second, I think he also made a mistake. Because me, I believe as a defender, Ararai would have done it. Yeah. What if he had scanned? Also that Molia cow down on Unebe. To me, when you missing a missing yeah, because they were going to beat him and sit down and they were going to score. Now the best thing to do was the best thing was going to do. I also looked at one thing that Sanchez did. I think he also lost the mathematics. He would have come so early to Kai Havertz. By the time the ball was still on air, reaching Kai Havertz, that there would be the first that would have been the first point. It was, but he hesitated to come.
You see,
and finally resorted to go for the ball. Kai Havertz had enough space to beat him. The thing that Kai Havertz was going to do was to give Martinelli to score, which would have been an offside.
No,
technically.
First of all, around Trevor Chaloba ngisiboro kawange.
Yes.
A weakness aneja. Because they're supposed to recover very quickly. Yes. What Robert Sanchez did, that is what he was supposed to do. One, he went and he closed down the man to delay the man. When he delayed the man, but for him as a goalkeeper, he had done his part because Abu Kai Havertz, Kai Havertz. Olos Kai Havertz koronyo, I ngulungesi, olosa kaniangina, neda bungeso peda koronyo, I get it opera tomada itibane pan. But I think the biggest challenge you carry, abolomo teneja. Narai, you know why you always train a box to box? So mara college Kafurian, and I believe you must have coached some of them. So you don't want to get a box to boxing one. Erai, ikamu goalkeeper langine mopira. A better doing and strike
as early as possible.
So when I saw Nyebe Sasso, a better side recovering of Sakono
quickly.
Are recovering about night defending. That is what those guys are supposed because they went all out. And they forgot that Chelsea, first of all, they have Martinelli, who has always been good on the counter attacks. And he has always been scoring or creating goals for Arsenal, Ottoman style. And he come later quick. That chakar, don't and that's exactly what those guys did for when the Clan Riser got the ball at the Parenda. The Munjobe Arsenal were able to recover a Kirta Tipper attacking and I think for me there they lost the opportunity because Trevor Chaloba, first of all, he was alone. Secondly, never scanned. You know, I keep telling players that before you receive the ball, Kaukoni ngai gani neni jakini jibori yare ara clearing mopira
or play some offside
ara mamu jabori offside trap ani ije poli jakina jo adama omom you become a quick thinker and you make a decision either to clear the ball or cut it down. We would have handled the ball at the Paneba. I already cut it. I don't know but Arsenal really put up a very good performance. They were very skeptical, very strategic. And I want to tell you, when these guys forked out millions of money, you know, under Arsene Wenger, it was always very difficult for Arsenal
to pay a player beyond 40 million.
To buy players, you know, the Parosi Arari
beyond 40 million.
Beyond 40 million.
Actually, even one was.
It was very difficult.
Malaria.
But this time around, you know, from the time Edu took over Nepanenda, and then of course when he left, they brought on board Yakatimo and Rajato Macron Katino Madrid. I think they continue the same project at Nepanebe. I think for us to thrive and give the fans what exactly they want at Nepanenda, we just need to make sure that, you know, we buy players. Let's bring players on board at Nepanenda. And currently, Akonga Mokinjebe, a mammy team will get to score the depth of Premier League. A team of Arsenal because Arsenal, you want to go, they are solid 100%. You know, they have kept Balanga. Very good player. Some other times, the Bakebe, Mikel Arteta sits down and then he feels confused. He feels for the player that this guy is good.
But now the best is still also here.
You know, he has no reason of telling Arayabe, today you sit on the bench, apart from Okopo Now, when you look at the defense, you know, you know, those guys have Mosquera, they have Calafiori, they have Ejakatimo Nkapi, even Tim also can play there. So, and then the Kawan and those guys are sorted. Or maybe if you also the same thing, those guys are sorted. But I think also where there was a problem, now, you know, Chelsea dominated Automakina Kesawan and I also realized that Ejakatimo Eze, I think Eze, if he's going to really thrive, Arebeti eza somo jokono ite korongesa somekruto motimo Arsenal korongesa somo kedago marangesa kama na nambeja kata watu digana arabianda nimujebe ekasa jeru muni.
Are you in search for the media to communicate your message across Eastern Uganda or a companion to inform and entertain you all day long? 88.4 Vote FM is your ultimate choice. Tune in every Monday to Friday and listen to cool programs such as Ewala from 4 to 6 a.m., Yoga Kwenyun from 6 to 10 a.m., Wanijogo from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., The Sports Wave from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Elimunober from 3 to 7 p.m. Eburilo Yemuto from 7 to 8 p.m. Eupa from 8 to 9 p.m. The night lockdown from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. We cover all districts across eastern Uganda. We are located on Plot 32, Haridas Road, in the heart of Soroti City. For inquiries, call 0392 960 687 88.4 Voice of Teso FM, the people's choice.